Good morning. I call the Plan and Zoning meeting of August 2nd to order. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have the roll call, please?
Chairman Jim Harris. Matthew Mitchell.
Here.
Gabrielle Medley. Here. Vice Chair David Diaz.
Here.
Susanna Ballard. Joan DeZuro.
Here.
Paul Lair.
Here.
Tiffany Wilson. Here. Lonnie Stevenson.
Here.
JP Thornton.
Here. So we have a couple of vacancies, so I'm going to ask Mr. Thornton to please come up and Mr. Stevenson to please come up and take your seats. Make sure you sign in on your screens before we get going. While they're signing in, can I have the any correspondence and announcements from staff, please?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair and Commissioners, thank you very much. Just a little update that the July 25th City Council meeting, the council did approve that plan development rezone for the storage units on Kiowa Boulevard with the commission's recommendations. They also discussed multiple family parking, and they directed staff to bring back some suggested changes to the Planning Commission. So you should be seeing those on August 16th. And we'll go through a review process, recommendation process for a code change for some parking for multiple family. That concludes staff's announcements. Thank you.
Thank you, staff. With that, the minutes of the previous meeting have been sent out. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections? And if not, I'll hear a motion to receive the minutes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of July 19th, 2023.
Motion by Ms. DeZuro,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Wilson. Ready for the vote? Do we vote on that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. This is a public meeting. The structure of the meeting will allow the staff to present an item. The commission may ask staff questions, and then the applicant will have an opportunity to present. Commissioners may have questions for the applicant, and then I will open discussion to the audience. We ask that if you would like to address the commission, please do so, but there is a time limit of one trip to the podium per topic and 3 minutes to speak. Please spell your last name for the record. We will then close the discussion and bring the item back to staff and ask for their recommendation. The commission will then hear a motion to discuss, make a recommendation to the city council for their final consideration. Okay. Does it show up on the screen here? The next, there it is, okay. First item is ID 233891, request for a planned development rezone, amending the approved development plan of PD-19-1222 for 3180 McCulloch Boulevard North, tract number 125, parcel H, and tract number 123, block 8, lot 1, in the single family residential plan development, R1. PD, district to allow for 4 accessory buildings within a 16-foot building height in addition to the previously approved 30-foot main sanctuary building. Trevor Kearns will give us a report.
Thank you. The 5.26 acre subject property consists of two properties, Tract 125, Parcel H, and Tract 123, Block 8, Lot 1. It is located on McCulloch Boulevard North, east of Bermuda Avenue. It is home to two buildings and a play area. The abutting properties are all zoned single-family residential and are developed with homes that back to the church property. In 2019, the property was zoned residential single-family and was rezoned to residential single-family plan development by ordinance number 19-1222, allowing a new 30-foot tall sanctuary building and a total of three 15-foot tall accessory buildings on the site. The main sanctuary building has an approved 30-foot building height from the approved max grade of 115.5, but the accessory buildings are limited to 15 feet from the graded pad. Hilltop Church would like to amend the approved plan development to allow a total of 5 buildings and allow the 4 accessory buildings to have a 16-foot building height from the graded pad elevation. The plan development amendment is required because the staff report from the 2019 rezone stated that the site is limited to the church and 3 accessory buildings, with the accessory buildings limited to 15 feet maximum height from the pad elevation. The site plan submitted with the request shows the proposed church, education buildings, and office building. The interim sanctuary building will hold church services until the proposed sanctuary building is completed. Then it will be used as an education building. The required parking and landscaping will be reviewed during the design review process. Normal parking and landscaping requirements will apply. The applicant has been in contact with the utility companies regarding the PUE abandonment and the new public utility easement dedication. The abandonment and dedication will need to be finalized prior to design review approval. The allowances and conditions of the previous plan development rezone still apply, including a building height of up to 30 feet for the main church building. Staff's recommendations for conditions of approval are: 1, the developments shall substantially match the site plan provided with the request. 2, the site is limited to those buildings shown on the site plan unless additional public hearings are held and public notice given. 3, the 2 properties in the plan development shall be combined into one property. 4, the sanctuary building shall be no taller than 30 feet from the maximum grade established for the property. 5, except for the proposed sanctuary building, all other buildings will be limited to a 16-foot building height from the pad elevations as shown on the development plan. And 6, design review for compliance with the development code and the conditions of this approval shall be required for the project prior to building permit issuance. This concludes staff's presentation, and the applicant is also available.
Thank you, staff. Commissioners have any questions for staff on this item?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Stevenson? Mr. Lair, sorry, Mr.
That's
Lair.
right. Trevor, how was the max grade established with a 5-acre parcel? Just wondering what defined basically the average or the grade for the pad that's approved right now.
So this pad elevation was requested through a height adjustment application. So they had a conceptual grading plan that showed a pad elevation that was allowed per city code for the 115.5.
Okay, great. So they've already established that as an exception to the code, or has defined that?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Mr. Stevenson?
So the existing building that's there now, is that based on the 115.5 elevation point?
The applicant might have more information on what the existing pad elevation is there.
Any other questions? I have one quick question, just for clarification. Can you explain to the public what item number 3, just clarify that, what that means? I know what it means, but just for the public's clarification.
So currently, this site plan has 2 properties on the far east side. There's a small parcel that's not been combined with the main church property. In the design with this development plan, before we issue permits, we want the properties to be combined so there's no property line in the middle of a building.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Like to make a presentation, please step up and say and spell your last name for the record.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Rob Sampson of Selberg Associates. It's SAMPSON. As always, it's my pleasure to be here in front of you today. We do have one small anomaly that I only received this packet this morning, and the incorrect letter was attached that was sent to the homeowners. After much discussion with city staff, it was recommended to us to revise the letter. So all of the recommendations on the height of the accessory buildings is incorrect. What was sent to them was a request for 25 feet maximum to not limit the heights of what they could actually do on those buildings. We have one right now that's proposed that has a maximum height of about 17 feet. That's the only one in the near future, but we just didn't want to limit. But the letter that was sent was the original letter that was sent to city staff for review. So it's up to you how you'd like to handle this. We're happy to table this and come back once you guys have had a chance to review the letter that was actually sent to the homeowners. But in what was sent, we did only have 2 people that attended our meeting, and both of them seemed happy. They're both in the audience here today as well, so they may be able to speak on their behalf. But the letter that was sent out actually asked for 25 feet for the 3 buildings that are on the on plan left. So that was based off the 88 foot height elevation. The other buildings, the proposed sanctuary is the building that you see on the far right. And then just below that is the education building that we'd be happy to keep at 16 feet given the height. But the other 2 we'd like to have, or 3 we'd like to have a little more flexibility for in the future. So unfortunately, we didn't receive the packet till this morning, so I wasn't able to find out that was the issue. But that is where we're at. This is not the application that we would like to have you judge on based on the 16-foot heights. It's too limiting in our opinion, but we're certainly willing to listen to anybody, your feedback, and we can decide how we should handle this. And to answer your question, the height was definitely based off of the original building height, so we wouldn't be proposing to go any higher.
So if there's no questions, any commissioners have any response to what he just said? So I was going to throw it back to staff. What is your recommendation? How should this be handled?
Well, staff received the request. Our understanding was that the maximum building height is 16 feet for these other buildings. So from 16 feet to 25 seems like quite a large change. In my staff's recommendation would be, unfortunately, probably to table this so we get the staff report put together per whatever they're actually requesting, and then we can bring it back to the Planning Commission for further action. That seemed to be the fairest way to move forward.
Okay. And would I ask the city attorney, would you agree with that sentiment?
Yes, it needs to be, with such a significant change, we need to re-advertise it and go out and do all of those things and then bring it back to you knowing that all of those steps were covered. I'd be more comfortable with that.
Okay. So with that said, if there's not more discussion, I guess we would take a motion to table this for future, or do we just table it?
Well, I think a point of order would be, right now, this is the applicant making presentation, so typically the next step would be open it to the public in case there was someone here who wants to speak on it from the public.
Okay.
Obviously, there may be understanding that it's not going to be a motion today or a movement on this item, and it comes back. Thank you.
Does anyone from the public, thank you, sir. Thank you. Anyone from the public need to speak on this? Thank you. Please come forward. Spell your last name for the record.
My name's Emiliano Torres, T as in Tom, O-R-R-E-S. I'm just asking you, making a comment that you have a code. Adhere to the code. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any other comments from the public? Anyone else wish to speak? Okay. So are you saying we make a motion or do we just table it
I suppose
after we close the public comment?
it would be make a motion to table this and have it come back with a revised request, I suppose. Does that make sense? Or do we just say?
I don't know that it really matters. We're going to basically start over on staff side. So you can just motion to table it, and we're going to bring it back after everything is reconfigured and it's been re-advertised, and it'll come back to you as just a brand new item.
Okay, so no more public comment, I see, so we'll close the public comment section, and then we'll just table this for future reference. Okay? Okay. Now, this is a open meeting, so this is a call to the public. Anyone want to speak on anything else? All right, seeing none. Future meetings?
Mr. Chair, Vice Chair and Commissioners, thank you very much. We will have a meeting on August 16th, and we also will be selecting the chair and vice chair at that meeting, so keep that in mind. So next meeting, August 16th in 2 weeks. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So with that, we stand adjourned.